talk about Toastmasters to everyone who will listen to me. If anything, on the outside, I'm known as the crazy, hippy dippy Toastmasters girl. That's me out there, but that's not on the paper for bingo. All righty, folks, thank you so much for listening to my little tidbit. I will go ahead and introduce our next portion of the meeting, which happens to be our special guest speaker.
Oh.
What? This is happening? Is this Grace? Grace,
Yes. Thank you for everybody showing up today to help us celebrate. When I looked and saw it was 10 years, I couldn't believe it. That time just flies. And I was hoping some of the folks would be here. Jackie, I think you're the only one who was there 10 years with me. Martha Zook was supposed to come, and some other folks were supposed to come. They might still be on their way. They might have gone to a different address. I just want to share a short story about how our club got started, because most of you don't know that. Jackie knows this. It was a little over 10 years ago, a coworker of mine from our California office gave me this book by Sheryl Sandberg called Lean In. It had just come out, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to read that. But I read it because she gave it to me. It was a gift. Because I wasn't big into feminism and saying, oh, we need to complain that we need equal rights. But I read this book by Sheryl Sandberg and totally changed my perspective, because the way she put it is, she has several messages throughout the book, but my big takeaway from the book is you have to come and sit at the table. And that means that we can demand equal rights. We can demand all kinds of things for ourselves. But when that opportunity comes up and we aren't ready to step up and take it, if we don't lean in, then it's all for naught. And this was a recent example. Is Tuesday night is Lead to Succeed. Thursday night is River Talkers. And we've been playing around with the table arrangements. And we decided to make one long table at Lead to Succeed. We tried this. And we set up the table and people started to come, and everyone was sitting around the outside. And I had to say, no, come sit at the table, come sit at the, and they were reluctant. They wanted to hang out on the side. But it was important to me because this was the message of the book. It's not my thing, is it? It's my daughter, because she's bringing the thing that
was a thing.
Hello?
Got to answer. It wouldn't work.
It's on my desk. Ella? Ella? Is it Saxon Drive? Oh, Georgie, Saxon Drive? Saxon Forest.
There's no drive or anything.
No drive, just Saxon Forest. My bad. Very different. All right, thank you. I didn't tell her I'm in the middle of the speech. And that's what happened at Lead to Succeed. Thursday night comes around. I said, hey, we tried this on Tuesday. Let's try it here. This is River Talks. I don't know how this happens, but Tuesday night, of course, is our women's club. But somehow on Thursday, my mom says this, let's go to Toastmasters. And she says, oh, is this the women's night or the men's night? Thursday night, I think there's only 2 women at most at that meeting. So we set it up, and when people started to come, all the guys just sat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Sheryl Sandberg talks about. And she gives an example. If you don't know Sheryl Sandberg, she was the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Facebook. So she's quite the high-level executive. And she gave this story one time of hosting at Facebook. High-level government official had come, and he had brought a couple folks with them, several folks. 2 of them were women. The men sat at the table, and the women sat on the side of the room. And she says, come sit at the table. But they wouldn't. They sat at the side of the room. After reading this book, part of Lean In is that you can start a Lean In circle, a group of women. I thought that would be a great thing to do, because I had this vision that people like me, very reticent and shy and not leaning in, that we can help each other become more confident so that when the time comes available, that we are there to step up and be awesome. But I didn't have any structure. What was I going to do? What were we going to talk about? And then I had this idea, oh, we have Toastmasters. Why don't we start a Toastmasters club for women? And a few of us got together, and I was pretty new Toastmaster at that time, and River Talkers helped sponsor Lead to Succeed. And so we just started this club, and we chartered in about 6 weeks. And district, they were very impressed because they said, it's not easy to start a club. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I have to tell you, the next club I tried to start a few years later took me over 2 years because in my head, I think, oh, that's a hard thing to do. So that's how Lead to Succeed started, is we just got some women together and we said, let's start this club. Martha Zook, she was supposed to be here. She kept asking, when's the date? We had a contest for the name of our club, and she came up with the name of the club. And Jackie was there. I think I wrote down the officers. Did you have an officer role? You did not have an officer role. Robin Espiritu was supposed to come. There were several of us. We were so excited. And what makes me so happy is that we're still here. Thank you to Jackie for all of your work, for Rasika for stepping up, Columba, who's been just a foundation the past few years as our VPE to just keep things going. Eloise, oh my gosh, your PowerPoint speech. And Columba, your thanks for the feedback speech. And Christina, more recent, but oh my gosh, just lead by example. And just to see Veronica, oh yeah, girl, don't be silly. She's my homie. And the new folks who have come, Jonna, she stepped up. Ella's just amazing. She's relatively new. Everybody, I don't even have an officer role this year. Isn't that amazing? Gasp, right. And I have never been president of this club because other people have stepped up to lead the club. And that's how the club got started. Is there anything else I need to say? Rasika. Oh, and Rasika, right? She's Toastmasters works. Let me tell you, my first speech contest, nobody told me I shouldn't have notes, so I was doing my speech contest. I lost to Blake. I was in the bathroom right before, afraid I was going to throw up. Of course, I didn't win. It was just the worst experience of my life. And I said, I will never be in a speech contest ever again. And someone else convinced me to do it. That's where I started. So I am a testament that Toastmasters works. Just the fact that I can be here with a microphone in my hand is just amazing. Yeah, it took 10 years. But it's one of my favorite quotes is, the results you achieve directly proportional to the effort you put in. So you're not going to get better overnight. You have to keep at it. You have to keep attending the meetings. You have to keep giving speeches. And there's so many leadership opportunities that you can perform roles. That's what happens. And if you're new to Toastmasters, my suggestion to you is be greedy, be selfish. Look at the pathways, volunteer for table topics, take that speaking role. You should always be up there speaking because the more you do it, the better you get, the harder you work at it, work your pathways. What happens over the years is you will improve and you see, and then what you do is you turn around and see the new folks, then you reach down and help them and pull them up. And then you start developing your leadership skills. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. Right, Lauren? We practice at Toastmasters. It's okay if you don't think you're good. So many times I've heard, I can't give my speech because I'm not ready. Give it anyway. It doesn't matter if you're not ready. Because you come here to practice, not to be good at Toastmasters. You come to Toastmasters to practice and to work it out so that you're good out there where it counts. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. And I'm a testament that it works. We have the extreme honor today. Luisa Montalvo.
Yeah.
I can't tell you just how special this is for all of us. Before I read her introduction, I just have to tell you, I've known Louisa over the years. And having to compete against someone of this caliber can't be, it is intimidating. But on the other hand, if it were easy, you don't get better. And so to have a role model, to have somebody to look up to have someone to compete against at the world championship level, and then to have her here in person. Yeah. If you're not aware, this is very special, very, very special. I will read her introduction. Louisa was born and raised in South Texas. What does that mean exactly? Are we in South Texas now?
No. You're Central Texas. South Texas is 4 hours south. We are 10 minutes from the Mexican border.
You are far.
RTV.
Well, Far is the name of the city that I was born in. It is a P-H-A-R-R. So when people say, where are you from? I'm from Far. But they would say, how far? I said, no, it's far.
It's far.
It's far.
And then she later moved to Austin, Texas, where she worked at Abbott Labs for 25 years. This part makes me really jealous. She retired at the age of 53 and has been busy rescuing homeless dogs and cats and driving them to the East Coast for the past 8 years. She has fostered and cared for over 1,000 homeless dogs. She joined Toastmasters in '89 for 3 years and then worked at Abbott Labs, then rejoined in 2013 and has been a member ever since. In 2019, she competed in the International Speech Contest against 3,300 contestants from 143 countries, and she took second place.
Wow.
You guys can see the one in the lead, nothing with that?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Okay, that's my question for you.
It's a great question.
So recently, this year, she competed once again at the Toastmasters International Speech Conference and placed first in the world. That's so incredible. 30,000 people, over 30,000 people all over the country start competing in speech contests, which most of us have witnessed or competed in. And then we get eliminated somewhere along the line. No, Louisa persevered through, it's after district, then you think you go to the convention. No, it's a district. Then they have to pick your video out of that. And then you go to semifinals, and then and those speeches at that level, by that time, everybody's good. And she got her place in the finals. And her speech was, and I'll let you tell the story. She was the first woman to return to win first place and the first Hispanic ever to win.
Yeah.
I need my crutches though. Check them out.
I'm not messing with you.
Cool. Better know I got crutches.
That's a good point.
Itchy. Let me see if I can stand for a little bit.
You sure?
I mean, what are we gonna do? Fall? You're gonna just get up.
You always get up. You always get up. You need a mic? You want the mic?
I do.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go get this.
Please help me welcome World Champion of Public Speaking 2004, Louisa Moncavo.
So everything that Grace has said is basically true. And one of the questions she asked me right now is in 2019, when I won second place, I had so many people come up and say, you should have won first. And I told them, You should have been a judge. That easy. I'm not gonna get real religious here, but my God, in case you watched my speech, I say my God because I don't want to offend some of you. I want to offend all of you. So I recall the flight home, and so many people had said, you should have won first, you should have won first. And it started sinking in my mind. I said, okay, God, why didn't I win first? If everybody thought I should have won first, why didn't I? And I said, as soon as I get home, I'm going to watch the videos and I'm going to see. But here's the thing with competing. And this, when you start to compete, and if you're dedicated to winning, because some people say, oh, well, my mom told me I should compete, or my husband said I should try it. You try it, you don't like it, that's fine. But for insane people like me, like Grace, that we want to compete, and there's a reason why we want to compete, because it makes you, forces you to get better. Because someone told me, wow, I want to ask you all your secrets, but you probably wouldn't tell me, right? I will tell you every single secret I can think of so that you are an excellent speaker. And then when I compete against you and you win, that means I have to get better. Now, if I gave you all the tools and I beat you, that means I don't feel guilty about beating you because I gave you everything I had. So it's a win-win either way, if you win or you don't win. Getting back to 2019, I thought, man, and my mom was not really she was in the very early stages of dementia, so she really kind of understood what was going on. And I said, Mom, I didn't win. I came in second. She said, second's good. I said, yeah, Mom, but it's not first. Why didn't I win? She says, God always has a reason. I'm like, well, maybe sometimes I don't like waiting to find out the reason, and maybe I don't agree. But here's what happened. I got one invitation, and I started getting invitations from Dubai and Portugal and Germany because I'd won second place. I hadn't even won first, and I was getting these invitations. It's amazing. It is amazing. It is just life-changing. So Puebla, Mexico, District 34, asked me to go and speak at their convention in November. Absolutely, I am there. I go speak, and 2 months later, COVID hits. So nobody, not even Aaron Beverly, who won first, gets to travel anywhere. So if I had won first in 2019, I would have lost all those trips that I'm now being offered this year. So sometimes we don't know the reason why things happen, why they do, the timing. And even though I was upset, I thought, okay, all right, I get it. Had I won, I would have gone anywhere. Absolutely nowhere. And I felt bad. And I called Aaron Beverly, who had won first place. I said, Aaron, I am so sorry. You're not going to get to go anywhere. And you know what he said? He said, Luisa, I won second in 2016 and I traveled the world then, so I'm good. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? So here I am, 2024. And I don't want to brag, but I would go to contests and I would listen at the district level. And I did this for 11 years. 7 years, and then I went district, I placed second. Second in the world? That's pretty darn good. I'm there in Mexico, in Puebla. A lady by the name of Urin comes up and she says, Luisa, I do my speech. And this shocked me. But my father says, you need to learn at least 2 languages. I want you to learn English and Spanish. So I understood Spanish, but I really didn't know how to speak it that well. So I get to Puebla, Mexico, And one lady comes up to me and says, I drove 6 hours to hear you speak. What? And then I get there and everybody goes, I'm on stage and everybody's putting in their little earbuds because there's a translator that's going to translate my English into Spanish so they can understand me. Wow. This one woman, had she not come up and told me, I drove 6 hours to listen to you speak, she wasn't even going to be listening to me. She was going to be listening to a translator. So in Spanish, I get up on stage and I say, Hola, todos. Quiero hablar en español. I want to speak in Spanish. And they all took off their earbuds and they're like, wait, is she speaking Spanish? And in Spanish, I said, I can speak to you in English and speak slowly. Or I can speak to you in Spanish and speak slower. And they all said, Español, Español. So I spoke for an hour and 15 minutes in broken, terrible, nonsensical Spanish. And they all stood up and applauded at the end. I thought, wow, I did pretty good. And then I realized, because a woman came up and said, we didn't care that your verbs were the wrong tense or whatever. You made an effort. And that's sometimes what we don't realize. It's just making an effort. I know I said the wrong things, but they all applauded. And the one lady, Udine, comes up and shakes my hand. Oh, can I have a picture with you? Sure, picture. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And she says, congratulations on being the first Hispanic to make it to second place. Nobody's gone that far, Hispanic-wise. Really? I have no idea. And she turns to leave, and I go to go to talk to the next person in line. And she goes, oh, Luisa. And I turned around and said, yes. She goes, and good luck on you reaching first place, because you can do it. Wait, what? I have to do this all over again? Are you kidding me? Aren't you happy with second? I'm happy with second. I have to go and try for first place now? A stranger has instilled in me that now I need to go back and get first place. I thought I was done. I'm finished. She said, no, you'll be the first Hispanic to do it. So here's what happens. When we start competing, or when you start competing, you start to see the people that are pretty good. And then when you see them as a contestant, Grace Bennett, dang it! I'm gonna compete against her? Oh. Okay, I gotta get good. I gotta get better. Because whenever I saw her name as a contestant, or whenever I saw her walk into a room, because we all want it easy. Who doesn't want it? Who does not want it easy? We want to walk into a contest. You know what? Hey, I know I'm good. Just give me the trophy now. Let's get it over with. And because of people like Grace, if there weren't people like Grace, I wouldn't have gotten to the level I got. Because there's no competition. There's no challenge. So we're at district. And I've told this before. And Grace looks at me, she goes, oh, Luisa, congratulations. I believe you came in second at district, behind me. And she says, you know, Luisa, and she says, come and sit down and eat with us. Because I usually don't eat. They will have the contest at 6 or 7 or 8 in the evening, and I won't eat all day. Because I don't want to burp during the speech. I don't want to have broccoli between my teeth. I don't want to have to go to the restroom. So I don't eat all day. And she said, have you eaten? I said, no. She says, come and sit with us. Come and eat. Mind you, this is a woman that has just lost to me. Who does that?
Grace.
Exactly. Come sit with us. I sit down, and she looks at me. She goes, you know, Lisa, I really want you to win this year. I know you can do it. I go, oh, Grace, really? She goes, you can. Thank you, Grace. She goes, yeah, I want you out of the way. Oh. once you win first place in the world, you can never compete in the international speech contest again. So now that I've won, I've opened the door, or I've laid down the golden brick road for her to follow.
Good move, Grace.
And someone just asked me a few weeks ago, now that you've won first, now you're the first Hispanic, what are you going to do to help others? I said, I will evaluate you, I will coach you, I will do whatever you want me to do, because it's gotta be this. Because we are all as women, and you know what? Instead of the arguing or the bickering, the fight, hey, somebody came up to me and said, oh my God, she did something for me. She was helping me with my purchase. And I said, you're awesome. And she says, no, you're awesome. And I said, you know what? We can both be awesome. There's no rule that says there can only be one person being awesome. We can all be awesome. That's so true. What does it hurt to help someone else get better? Because by teaching, you actually do improve. You get better. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now today, I'm supposed to be at home in the valley, in my she shed, doing a Zoom for this club. And Ella texts me and says, I said, hey, what's the background? Tell me what I'm talking about. She goes, oh, it's 10 years. Grace. I said, Grace? She goes, yeah, Grace started the club. Wait, Grace started the club? Yeah, 10 years ago, she just kept it going. I personally know how hard it is to keep a club going. Are we being recorded? Because that pathways, it's got to go. I didn't say that. Yeah, but you got all these older, you're older too, us, but our club is a bunch of, do it?
I'm older than you.
You are? God, okay, see, there you go, doing it again. Now, because Grace can do it, now I have to go and I have to do it. Because if she can do it, then this is a competition for me, always. Everything is always a competition. Okay, Grace, you've instilled this in me now, for me to go and tackle pathways. But to keep a club going for 10 years, and look around, how many people are there? This is fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. And so when I found out that Grace started the club, Grace was going to be here, I said, Luisa, go take a shower. Because, in the shed, I wasn't going to take a shower. You just brush your hair, you're there on Zoom. I said, Luisa, go take a shower, fill up the gas tank, get in the car, and go. So because of you, Grace, I'm here. Okay?
We're gonna Zoom, and then I see you at the door. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's here. This is my daughter, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi,
Hi, daughter. Forgive me if I call you daughter. I'm really bad at names. Yeah, she's just gonna.
Oh, my mom's in the car.
Yeah. Mom and daughter.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear you speak.
Thank you.
Lisa should have heard me when I saw you pulling up outside here. I said, Luis Montalvo's here.
There is a question I have on that thing because somebody says they raced motorcycles and competed on motorcycles, so I still need to find out who that is. But anyway, I know. The one thing I wanted to tell you or to express today, in fact, I wasn't even going to talk about the speech, but Grace asked the question. But what I had wanted to say was back in 2019, when I went and gave my speech about a bullfight. Now I'm at district. All these people are talking about hardships. I'd never had a hardship until about 3 years ago, honestly. One woman got up there and talked about her son dying and him donating his organs. And then she got to hear the heart, her son's heart in someone else. And I'm like, oh my God. And then another lady spoke about her brother having cancer and dying of cancer. And she had to watch him die on his own terms. And I thought, Luisa, you're giving a speech about a bullfight. You're not going to win district. But I did. Every time I left a district competition, I was emotionally mentally drained, because for some reason, people were talking about a hardship. And it was the harder the hardship, oh my gosh, the more applause. So I would leave a district conference literally drained, emotionally drained. So I thought, you know what? Let's change this up. Let's talk about something that has absolutely nothing to do with hardship. Let's talk about Luisa not believing in herself. That's an easy one, because Luisa doesn't believe in herself. So I'm 19, I go to Mexico City because my dad believes that I can go and take pictures of a bullfight. I go take pictures at the bullfight. I know they came out terrible. The owner of the bullfighting ring has me fly back to Mexico City by myself. And I'm thinking he's going to say, your pictures are terrible. Oh my gosh. You know how much money I spent on flying you here? But instead, he took a picture, an enlargement of a picture I took, where he was on his horse, all decked in white, and the horse was a white horse, beautiful steed, beautiful colored ribbons. And he went and he took the arrow, the spear that ultimately took the bull's life. And I got that picture right when he's letting go of the spear, and the spear's going right to the bull. And he enlarged that. And here I was thinking he was going to chew me out. And I was afraid to disrespect my father's name. But he takes me to his favorite room, and he turns me around, and on the biggest wall, in an enlargement, 6 feet by 10 feet, is an enlargement of the picture I took. And he had me sign it. And I went, wow. Had I not listened to my father, because I didn't believe in myself, but my father believed in myself. Had I not listened to my father to get on the plane and go, I would have missed that entire opportunity, which was one of the best things in my life to ever happen. So at the end of my speech, I say, how many of you are missing opportunities because you don't believe in yourself? Well, it's all of us, but me included. So I want to say I started the shift of, instead of getting up there and talking about tragedy, now it's about hardships we overcome in our daily personal life. Now this year I get up there and almost every speech is a humorous speech. And I'm like, who did humorous back in 2019? Now, mind you, I already had a speech about my grandmother and how she picked cotton and how my mom was picking cotton with her in the fields. And one of my favorite lines from that speech that I was going to use in 2019 for the finals, but I didn't use it because it was too depressing. I said, Luisa, exactly what you said you didn't want to do, give a depressing speech. Now you're going to go out there in front of the world and give a depressing speech? But one of the lines that I remember was, my grandmother, the palm and the fingertips of her hands, she was 80 or 90 years old and they no longer had fingertips. They were no longer. And I thought, she left all of her fingertips out in the fields of cotton. And that was going to be my strongest line of the speech. I thought, oh my gosh, that's too depressing. You know what? Let's talk about changing a tire for a Mexican thug. Yeah, let's go with that. And so that's what I did. You think one person cannot make a difference? You know, 100 years ago, Ralph Smedley said, maybe we should try to help the common person instead of Zig Ziglar or Dale Carnegie spending thousands of dollars on learning how to speak publicly, professionally. Maybe we should make it so everybody can do it. And 100 years later, because one person decided to make a change or saw a need, we have Toastmasters. And Grace saw that need 10 years ago. And one person makes a decision, makes a change, makes the effort, and now we're all here. So never believe that just because you are one person, you can't make a difference. Grace, I owe you so much. That's why I'm here. I honor you. I adore you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Louisa. haven't read this book yet. This is because I didn't think you needed the lean in book because you just naturally do that. This is your second book. So let me know if it's good. I have it too, and I'm in the
Absolutely.
process of reading it.
Well, thank you so much. You get a photo op?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much.
One short story about Pathways. When Pathways came out, old folks resisted it. And I heard, man, how Pathways is so terrible. And I was starting to agree. Oh yeah, it's not good. And then we get a new member at River Talkers who's, as a profession, his career, he's does training. And Terry pulls me aside after one meeting and he says, "Oh, Grace, this Pathways is just great. I really love it."
It's true.
It's true.
It's true that you love it, or you true that that's what you told me? Both. And I went home and I told my husband, "Kurt, Terry says Pathways is really great. How come everyone's saying it's not?" And I thought, well, I think it's just my mindset. I went into agreement with everybody else on, man, we hate it. Man, I want my man. It's like, no, we're moving forward. And I said, I told Kurt, I love Pathways too. And if you don't like it and you tell your other members that, then they won't like it either. But Terry's like, no, he's a professional. This is what he does as a career. He loves Pathways. I love Pathways. Now I love Pathways. So thank you, Terry.
Okay, good, Terry.
Okay. Ella was like, we can't invite any more people, okay? And Thursday night after our River Talkers meeting, I'm talking to these guys in the parking lot, and we're talking about you. And Juan just happens to ask me, hey, do you know when the next time Luisa is speaking? And I couldn't lie and say, I don't know. So I had to say, well, Saturday? I said, these people, he goes, oh, can anyway, they had to come to see you. And once we were coming, the list, RSVP list kept getting longer and longer, and Ella's getting more and more stressed. And,
Charge the cover at the door.
oh, we should charge the cover at the door. Oh my God.
We had 18 RSVPs when we started this, and last night there were 50.
Wow.
Where are these people going to
Sit.
be?
So thank you, Luisa. Thank you so much. You've added so much to this. Wendy, are you the only one still online? All these other people were supposed to join online too, but thank you, Wendy. Wasn't Luisa's great, right? Yeah, she's nodding, absolutely. So thank you. Any questions? Anybody have a
Sure.
question for
Oh,
Luisa?
sure, yeah. Not anybody.
I don't have a question, but I would like
Yes.
to say that anybody, I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
No. go
Waiting
ahead.
for your question.
Anybody has some official business to conduct in District 55 Toastmasters, in your signature block down the bottom, like Blake Ruby, Division G Director, District 55, put home of the world champion of public speaking.
Yes.
55 now.
Yes,
So
and I'm
district-
wondering, what's the record? Who holds the most?
Oh, which district?
Yeah, which district holds the most?
So Terry has his eye set on competing. There.
Good.
Christina over here.
Okay. Good.
These folks have talent. Anybody else? Competitors?
Not yet,
I'll
maybe.
be a
Oh,
ballot
maybe
counter.
later.
Jackie wants to be a ballot counter. There you go. He's a singer. And speaking of singer, we have karaoke. So karaoke is one of those things, like you said, San Pedro. I'm from Los Angeles, it's San Pedro. It's not karaoke, it's karaoke. Just
Just-
I have a question for Lisa.
Oh, yes.
Lisa, how long takes you to make up your mind to say, okay, deciding that, yes, I'm competing for 2024, like how long takes you?
For those of you, that's a great question. For those of you that don't know me, I'm competitive about everything. My mom would call me and she lived 2 blocks away and she says, what are you doing today, Meet? I said, nothing, Mom. She goes, I'm gonna go mow my yard. Oh, you know what, Mom? I have to mow my yard too. She goes, okay, go. And we would throw the phone down and I'd go outside and I'd turn on my lawnmower and I would try to, because I wanted to beat my mom, her mowing her yard and me mowing my yard. And I finished, and I remember grabbing the phone and calling her, said, Mom, I'm finished. She says, I'm already walking to your house. But she was the one that instilled the competition in me because for her, everything was a competition. So the minute that I decided, okay, I was at work. For those of you that don't know, I was at work. I was walking down the hallway. I'm headed to HR. I'm ready to fill out paperwork because I was a temporary, and now I'm going to be a permanent employee. I worked there 3 months. I'm walking down the hall, and I hear laughter in the room, and I'm like, okay, we're nobody's supposed to be having fun. Why are people laughing? And I looked inside the room, and the door had that little piece of glass, and there was a gentleman standing up there speaking. His name is Billy Webb, and everybody's laughing at him, and I'm listening. And the first thing I think of is, I'm funnier than he is. I know I'm funnier than he is. So as soon as he finished competing or giving his speech, he sat down and the sergeant at arms let me into the room. And I said, what's going on? He goes, this is Toastmasters. We're having a humorous contest. I said, I want to join. Is it too late to? He goes, well, yeah, I mean, you can join, but you have to be a member before you can compete. So I had to wait a whole year to be able to go compete, but I decided right then and there. I said, I'm a member, I want to compete, here's my name. So instantly, and that was 1999. Thank you.
Lisa told a story about me, some of my story about her being competitive. My first time competing district, it was humorous speech contest, and Louisa was there, and we're getting briefed and whatever we do before getting ready for it. And I am so sick to my stomach, nervous. I'm worse than my first speech contest, like, because this is a district and there's hundreds of people in the audience, and I'm telling Louisa how nervous and I am, and she just looks at me, she goes, tell me next year. I'm like, oh, okay.
There you go.
That's how competitive she is. And I figured it, so I placed second to lose it twice now. That's my claim to fame. And I'm okay with that. But I'm thinking, oh, yes, I'm totally good with that. And I'm thinking, yeah, I gotta learn like how to be more competitive. Yeah.
Next year. Do
Yeah.
it again.
I can't this year. I'm an area director.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yes, I need to learn, and my role model, and I want to be like you. Yes.
Be better than me. The world already has me. You go be better than
I'll
me.
go
You
be
can do it.
Okay.
You can do
I
it.
need to
Yes, I
work on
wanna
that.
beat her.
Any other questions? This is your opportunity. World champion of public speaker. Kristen, you must have it. Come up here, sit here. Have this fireside chat with her.
I'd like to know your rituals, how you got to this level of confidence in your public speaking. What is it that you do to prepare?
Avon.
Sorry.
I guess share your secrets with us.
Oh. Great question. If I have secrets, and hang on, because I hate having my back to an audience.
They can also use here.
It's in here, right?
It's okay.
Yes, let's
Thank
switch sides.
Sorry about that. Awesome. Thank you so much. And of course, because she wants to compete, she wants to know what are the rituals to see if they help. I will tell you one ritual. And I don't know if Grace ever saw me do this, but they usually have the trophies on the table, first, second, and third. I always go up to the first place trophy and I just go, you're mine. So I was there at finals and I'm going up the ramp because we're practicing, going up the ramp, getting on the stage. And they had all 3 trophies there, and they had some paperwork there. And I'm wheeling myself up, and the first place trophy's right there. I'm like, you're mine. And I accidentally knocked some of the papers over. And the lady that was running the show, Paige, goes, Luisa? I said, what? Did you knock over the papers? I said, I did. I'm sorry. Goes, I'll get them. Thank you. And I went and rolled up, and then I won first place. That's just one ritual I do. Another ritual I do, which is always to talk to my mom. Because I said, Mom, I'm doing this to make you proud. I hope you're proud. You know, pray for me, watch over me. I can do this because of you. And it was because of her. Because she was an amazing, amazing speaker. And because she was an Avon district manager, we had 200 ladies at every meeting every Tuesday. I had to go with her because we would set up the makeup and the cologne and perfume, and she gave away door prizes. And I'm, 12 years old. And she would say, Luisa, do you want to come and tell everybody what you used today, Avon? So I thought everybody got up in front of 200 people and spoke. And so I would get up at the age of 12 and I said, well, I used the shampoo and I used the brush, I used the deodorant. And so I did that almost once a week. So there's no fear. So if you have children, any opportunity you have to put them in front of an audience, do it. Because the sooner they learn how to do that, I have no fear. I am more nervous right now with this audience than 1,700. You know why? Because I can see your faces. And with 1,700, you just see 1,700 people. But if you put 3 people in front of me as an audience, I am nervous because they're all staring at me and I can see them right there. So those are just some of the rituals. Took the first place trophy, talked to my mom, and basically all I can think of. But rituals are rituals. I don't wear the same underwear, you know, some people say. I don't do.
So before you start talking, do you make voice exercises or?
So that's a great question. You know, before I give a speech, do I prepare? Do I gargle? Do I la 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 la? I'm at the convention in Anaheim a couple of weeks ago competing, and I just won semifinals, and I'm in my wheelchair, and I'm at Starbucks, and I'm buying, I don't know what I was buying, something sugar because I'm just a sugar fiend. And this one lady goes, oh, congratulations, you won. She said, you're going to go into the finals now. I said, yes. She goes, oh my gosh, what are you doing now? I said, well, I'm just going to grab some tea and go up to my room and practice my speech. And she goes, oh, is there some special thing you do with your speech? I said, I'm not Taylor Swift. I'm not going to talk for 3 hours. I give a 5 to 7 minute speech. But no, I don't do it. I don't do any of that. I just go out there and talk. But that was a great thing.
What's been a really good piece of advice you've been given for Toastmasters that you feel like has shaped you to the speaker you are today?
What advice have I been given that has helped shape me today? My 94-year-old mentor, Phyllis Allen, told me back in 2019, I said, you know what, Phyllis, if I don't win a district this year, I'm done. Because it was 7 years in a row I hadn't won. And I wouldn't even place. So what does this tell me? 1, the judges don't like me. 2, the audience doesn't like me. 3, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I didn't even place. So I thought, I told her, Phyllis, if I don't win, if I don't place this year, I'm not doing this anymore. She goes, well, Lisa, you know what your problem is? Oh, no, Phyllis, but why haven't you told me about this before? Because 7 years, you haven't told me what my problem is. She goes, you're not having any fun. You get up there and you look all serious and you look all competitive. And she goes, people want to talk to you. They want to say hi and they want to wish you well. And you're in the corner, you know, like a wounded dog, you know, just going over your speech. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. And I don't want to see anybody competing. Because you're not having any fun. You know what, Phyllis, you're right. I am number 1. Let's go have fun. That's me. Hey, if you told me right now, you know what we said? There's a dog outside. He needs to get to New York. Can you take him? Yes, let's go. And I'm done. Because I love doing that kind of stuff. Anything, let's do it. My father instilled that in me. Go do it. Just go do it. Yeah, I think he just wanted us out of the house. But she said, go have fun. And I had fun. And then I went all the way to finals and went, okay, I think I'm gonna start having fun now. And that's what it was, so just having fun.
And what was your worst ever advice that you received?
First.
You need to say, okay, what you just said.
You know, I don't think I've ever had a worst advice.
Okay, any part of your life?
Oh, here you go. And it wasn't so much worst advice, it was the district. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, and I know if I remembered, you would know who he was. I had just given a speech in 2015 titled La Ruca Fix the Tire.
Yeah.
And it was actually that humor speech that I went and at the last minute decided to use it for my 2019 finals.
That you did at the one of the humors, and that's where I placed second that speech.
This, right. So I took the guts of that speech because I didn't like the speech I was going to give about my grandma. So I took the guts of my humors, made up a new beginning and ending the night before the contest, and went out there and placed second. But at district, when I gave that speech, a gentleman came up to me and he said, you know, that speech wouldn't have won in Boston.
What?
And I guess he was from Boston, right? And he said, you know, that speech wouldn't have won in Boston. And you have to understand, why do people tell you these things? What's the motive behind it? But me, with my father's quick tongue, I turned around and said, well, thank God I'm not in Boston. I had just won first place in humorous at district. That speech would have won in Boston. Well, thank God I'm not in Boston then. And then when I used it for 2019 and won second in the world, now I want to find him and say, I don't know what's wrong with Boston, but the world thought it was okay. I'm sorry, you were going to say something, Jim?
Yes, so I wanted to ask you, when I was at the district conference, I went outside the room and you were over on the side practicing. I've heard that you practice a lot. Do you believe that that's the key to winning? Practicing?
I am going to tell you my deepest secret. I am a
Thank you, Blake.
procrastinator. So if I'm practicing a speech, it's probably because I wrote it a week ago. And I've had a year to get ready for it. But I have noticed something with me, that if I practice something too much, it's not fresh. The speech I gave 2 weeks ago that won first place, that morning, Saturday morning, I was supposed to give that speech. I went to the lady, Paige, and I said, can I change my title? Because I didn't like the speech. I hadn't practiced it enough. It didn't speak to me, nothing. I was going to give a speech, believe it or not, I was going to give a speech about a dog I had rescued. I called Toastmasters last year and said, can I take a puppy on stage as a prop? And they said, we'll get back to you. And they called me back and they said, you can use the puppy on stage as a prop, but it cannot be your entire speech. I said, no, I just, at the very end, I take him out of the crate and I hold him and I said, follow your dream, do what you want to do, you know, follow your passion, because mine is rescuing dogs. So I was going to give a speech about a dog that took me 7 months to catch this dog. Every night I would go, and we would go to Church's Chicken. I would say, Mom, let's go shoot. Are we going to go rescue a dog? Yes, Mom, let's go. We get in the car, we'd go to Church's for $5.99. I fed my mom, myself, and the dog, Kelly. Mom got the breast, Kelly got the drumstick, I ate the corn on the cob, and I had the biscuit and the tea. And every night for 7 months, I tried to catch this dog. And she finally started trusting me, because every night I honk my horn, and then I would show up, give her the chicken, get back in the car, watch her. So it got to the point where I would just pull up, honk the horn, and here she comes running. Because I've trained her now that when she hears the horn, she's gonna get chicken. And for 7 months, almost every night I went out there. And I finally caught her because a car had hit her. She'd broken her leg and she couldn't run from me, which was the only reason that I caught her. But it was, just to let you know, it was a Saturday night. It was 2 a.m. It was pouring down rain. I was out there with the old box of chicken because I hadn't seen her in 3 days because she had been hit by a car. So she was hiding. So somebody says, hey, are you still looking for that dog? And I said, yes. She was, I just saw her. She's in the field. She's limping. I jumped up. I threw on 2 shirts because I didn't want to wear a bra. Okay, so anyway, so I put on 2 shirts and put on some pants. I run out there and it's raining and I've got the old bag of chicken. I'm like, Kelly. And I'm looking and it's raining. I can't see anything. And I don't see a nice fresh puddle of mud. And I'm walking and I slip and I fall back. But you know, like an alcoholic who doesn't spill the beer, I didn't spill the chicken. I'm like, oh. I get up and I'm dripping in mud and I'm looking around and there's nobody around. So I take off the top shirt. So now I just have the bottom shirt. And I take off my pants because I don't want to get my car dirty with mud. So now I'm in shorts, a t-shirt, and the 2 police show up. And it's a young guy and an older guy. And this is the speech I wanted to use for finals. And he goes, the young guy's like, ma'am, do you have any ID? I said, I got a box of chicken and a flashlight. That's all I got. And I'm in my place, really, literally my underwear and t-shirt. And he goes, well, ma'am, you're gonna, and the older man says, ma'am, you still looking for that dog? Yes, Officer Gonzalez. He goes, all right, good luck, thanks. And the young guy goes, we're not gonna, he goes, she's out every night looking for a dog. She's not doing anything else. Woman's crazy, get in the car, let's go. So they leave, and I'm getting ready to leave because I can't find Kelly. And I've got my flashlight. And something tells me to look one more time. I'm like, Kelly. And way in the distance, I see 2 little yellow dots blink. Kelly, is that you? And they blink again. My favorite line was, I don't know if I'm going home with a dog or a possum, but I'm going home with something tonight. It's either a dog or a possum, I don't care. And it was Kelly. I go out there, I pick her up. She's wounded, and she just looks at me like, okay, fine, I give up. Take me to your house. And she just submissive succumbs to me. I pick her up. And I'm thinking, it's a Saturday night. It's 2 a.m. I've got mud dripping down my back. I'm in a t-shirt and underwear. I've got a dog with a broken leg in my arms. And I'm the happiest I've ever been. And that was going to be my speech. At the end, I was going to pull out the puppy and say, follow your passion, follow what makes you happy, follow what drives you, because I have. And I was going to walk off. I said, that's the speech I want to give. And I didn't have the dog, but I really didn't need a dog. And that's the speech I wanted to give. But instead, I give the 37 Strangers because the lady said, you can't change your speech title. We already have everything printed. We already have the PowerPoints. It's going to show Luisa Otala, 37 Strangers. So I went back to my room. It's 8 in the morning. I'm about to perform and compete in 4 hours. And I said, Lisa, you can either tell yourself that this is the best speech you've ever written or the worst speech you've ever written. What are you going to do? You know how long it took you to get here, Lisa? It took you 11 years to get here. So this is the best speech you've ever given. You know what? Yes, you're right. Okay. And so boom, I'm rehearsing. So to answer your question, at the very last minute, I decided this is the speech I have to give because I'm a procrastinator. If I had planned for this, I would have known 6 months ago what my speech was. I waited till the last minute. So that's me. That was my don't tell anybody that I didn't practice. Because I think I'm a good speaker. So that was the question. That was the answer.
I thought you wanted to just change the title, but have the same speech.
No, a completely different speech. I went from 37 Strangers. I wanted to do Kelly, the dog that took me 7 months. Because if you really want something, you either take 11 years to get it or 7 months. If you really want something.
So why you call it 37 strangers?
I count, well, my speech, I didn't know which speech to give. I didn't like the 37 Strangers.
Okay.
I wanted to give the speech about the dog, but I couldn't change it to that speech. So at the last, so I had to stay with. But I was willing to give a speech that I hadn't practiced at all. Because he said, hey, I saw you out there practicing. Yeah, because I should have done it 2 months ago and I'm just not doing it. So now I'm practicing. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh shoot. I'm here at the finals, let's practice.
When we were having dinner at District, you told me you knew the speech for your final. Was that the dog?
No, that was the 37 Strangers. But I didn't like it. I got there and I went, I don't even like this speech. And believe it or not, I left out 3 very important parts at the finals. And I thought, you're not gonna win. I left 3 very important parts out of the speech, and I had a speech. Why? Because I was practicing at the last minute. Because I'm a procrastinator. But I could tell you make it in this.
What was the pressure like at district compared to the world championship?
I don't want to boast or brag, but usually when I get to district, I think I might have this. I got this. I got this. Because I will watch division contests and see who won. Like, okay, that's my competition. I think I got this. At the World, when I was at semifinals, they're all doing their speeches, and I'm like, when did everybody get good? It was insane, because what you don't realize is at the semifinal level, do you use your second best speech? No. You have to use your best speech so you can go from semifinal to final. Then when you hit final, you have to have an even better speech. Usually when you get final, when you hear the final speech, it's your second best speech because you already gave your best speech because you wanted to make it to the finals.
So explain that you have to do a new speech.
Well, you have to do, yes. Okay, so when you compete, you can use the same speech all the way up to semifinal. And then if you make it to finals, it has to be a completely different speech. So you have to have 2 good speeches, but do you use your second best for semi? No. You want to make it to the final, so you use your best speech. And then you have to have an even better speech if you want to win. So the semifinals is really a lot better than the finals are. Because the finals, you're seeing your second best speech. But yeah, great question.
That was the best I heard this, your semifinals.
Oh, the drumsticks?
Yeah, that was the best I ever heard.
Man, I love that one. That was a good one.
Louisa, what's the semifinals? I don't remember.
Oh, okay. So the first, if you're competing, first you start at club. You know, and usually everybody's like, oh, Lisa's competing, I forget it. I'm not gonna compete. So club. So then from club, you have your area. And depending on how many clubs you have in your area, then you go to area. From area, then you go to division. From division, and you have to keep winning first place. From division, you go to district. From district, you go to regional. Now, district to regional, you don't compete again. They take your district speech video and they send it to all the judges. And all the judges get to watch all the videos and they go, that one, yes, that one, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes. So then you make region and that propels you into semifinals. In semifinals, they take 28 of the top, all their top 28 people.
And that's the convention.
And that's the convention. So there they have 4 different semifinals. Each semifinal had 7 people. In my semifinal, it was 6 men and me. And all these men were 6 feet tall. And you see the pictures like this is, oh, there's Lisa sitting in the chair. There's everybody else. So there were 4 different semifinals. And I didn't like it because semifinal 1 to semifinal 2 were competing. They were both on at the same time. So you don't even get to go, okay, I'm going to listen to semifinal 1 first, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. So out of each of those semifinals, I'll pick 2 of the 7. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 of you now go to the finals. So you have to win, what, 7 times? Something like that.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's
The competition, I'm here for it. Mow the yard? Yes. Speech? Yes.
Beautiful.
So you got a lot of inspiring words and I want to share it with my boys. But when you say you procrastinate a lot, I deleted it because my brother is a big procrastinator. And I said, I don't want him to know that you procrastinate because he's gonna think, oh, it's okay to be a procrastinator.
But here's the deal, and that's okay. This is kind of what I wanted my 37 stranger speech to be. It doesn't matter what you believe. It can be the exact opposite of what I believe. But you know what? I'm still gonna ask you, you wanna go get a beer? You wanna go have dinner? You wanna go watch a movie? Because that's okay. What you believe is what you believe. And what I believe is what I believe. As a procrastinator, it forces me to be that much better because I didn't practice. Now, Aaron Beverly had practiced his speech back in 2019. He beat me for #1. He had practiced that speech for 4 months before finals. So did he deserve to win? Absolutely. I didn't practice, I came in second. Whose fault is that? Mine. So if you procrastinate, but you're okay to try to catch up, or you're really good at in the crunch, because some people can plan and everything, but a disaster happens, they're like, I don't know what to do. Now you give me a disaster, I'm on it. You know what? When you're traveling with 80 dogs to New York, you have disasters. So when something comes up, when the AC went out of my bus in Houston and it was 110 degrees, that's a disaster. What do? You pull over, you find something, you call a tow truck, this, that, and you have to hustle. You can't plan for that. So there are people that do really well when they plan, and there are people that do really well when they procrastinate. I just happen to be a procrastinator.
Well, he's done very well too. So.
And there you go!
It only takes a minute if you wait till the last minute.
I love it. That's my new line. It only takes a minute if you wait till the last minute.
Unlike Juan, I did not delete that word. It highlighted for me. Now I'm in. I'll compete.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yes.
But and it's okay because we are all influenced different ways, and it doesn't matter as long as we're influenced.
I didn't say I wasn't a professional.
I know. Right. No, I get it. And to me, that's the beauty of it. And one thing that I thought was absolutely beautiful, I don't know if you got to see it, but I had made a promise to myself and to my mother that if I did win first this year, it's just so you know, it's very painful for me to walk. I could probably walk to you, but it's gonna kill every bone in my body. But I'll do it. And I told myself, if Lisa, if you win first, you are not receiving your trophy in a wheelchair or on crutches. You are going to walk to get your trophy. And as soon as I heard my name, I stood up, I left my wheelchair there, and I started walking. 2 women, my district director and Lauren Parsons, who had just made accredited speaker. We had just had dinner the night before. She came running to me. She grabbed me, and they both helped me. They both helped me walk onto the stage. These are 2 strangers. But yet in the moment, they see, we initially want to help. Do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? Somewhere along the line, somebody does us wrong where we do help, and then we don't want to help anymore. But 2 women, and that, man, I wish I would have said something right then and there when I received my trophy, because these women just, come on, let's go. You want to walk? You're going to walk. We're going to help you walk. And they helped me all the way to the stage and up the stairs. And I turned around and I said, I got it now. I got it. And the gentleman that came racing with my wheelchair, and he put it up on the stage for me. I didn't ask him, hey, can you give me? He knew. I didn't ask him. These are strangers helping me. That was what my speech was all about. We're a beautiful world. We're a beautiful society. We're beautiful people if we allow it to be. That's all I wanted to project. That's all I wanted people to know. So,
Do you have a process to construct the bones of your speeches? Like, do you have like a couple of speeches and you're like, I really resonate with this one?
No, I need to use the bathroom. You have to hold it.
louder. So here's the thing. When somebody tells you, okay, you know what, this is due, you have to do it by Monday. You're sitting there, well, I would, because I'm a procrastinator, and I would be there Sunday night going, I don't think I can do this. There are some people that are great. And they're like, oh, as soon as the teacher said, oh, they're writing stuff down. To me, when somebody says you have to write a speech, I'll get the paper, the pen, and I'm yeah, did I have I started laundry yet? Let me go start my laundry. And I'll go do my laundry and I'll come back. Let me wash dishes. So that's what I do. However, what happens? I'll be heading to HEB to go buy something. I know what I'm going to talk about. and I grab my phone, I go to voice memo, I hit the button, it starts recording. Oh my gosh, okay, so I have to tell them about the dog and how mom would go and Church's Fried Chicken. Okay, beep, put the phone down. I'm in the shower. Oh my gosh, it's a great idea. Okay, when I'm talking about the dog, remember to talk about the police officers and how mud was dripping down my back. Okay. And then 2 or 3 days later, oh, yes. Okay, another thing. Don't forget, remember to talk about Kelly and the broken leg and the possum. Okay. At the end of the week, 2 weeks, I go back to all my little voice memos. And everything I said, I write it down. 1, write it down. 2, write it down. 3. Okay, Lisa, you're not gonna say this, right? That was stupid. Why did you even record that? But from there, okay, now I can put them in chronological order, or I can kind of make an outline, and I'll take each one and expand on it. And then, if you make it to contest and it's serious, you want to make sure you only give a speech for 6 minutes. I don't know if you knew, but 2 of the people that went to finals were disqualified for 2 seconds over. They spoke for 7 minutes and 32 seconds. How do you make it to finals? You know what happened? They both had humor in their speeches, and they're used to performing for 50 people. So when I say a joke, you are going to laugh for 4 seconds. This audience right here will take 4 seconds to laugh. When you're speaking to 1,700 people, they're going to laugh for 15 seconds. You only planned on 4 seconds. So they made it all the way to finals, 2 of them, and lost because it was 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Can you imagine? So at 6, I'm like, yep, green light, red light, see ya, I'm done. And one of the guys that critiqued me, oh, I didn't like her ending. I said, I didn't want to be disqualified. I didn't come here to lose by 2 seconds. I came here to win. So if you don't like my ending, that's fine. But you know what? Not disqualified. But that's how I write speeches. When you have an idea, now you want to make a good speech, make it about something that's totally embarrassing about you.
She's already good at that.
Oh, there you go. There's the next winner. Got it right here. I didn't want anybody to know that I was crying after I had my accident. My dad said, you're crying? Only babies cry. So I didn't want to cry, but there I was crying because I couldn't even walk. That was so embarrassing to me. I don't want to admit that to everybody, but you know what? Somebody here had to hear that because somebody here's gone through the same thing. And that's what you want to do. You want to relate to your audience. How many times have you thought, man, I'm no good. What am I doing here? I got no value. What's the point? You know, I get up, I go to work, job, bills, this, that. So I put that out to everybody. I think everybody's gone through that at one point in their life. And that's what you want to do. You want to resonate with your audience. You want to grab their attention. You want to associate with, you want them to go, hey, yeah, I've done that too. Yes, sir.
Since you can't compete anymore, I've got an idea. Why not be a stand-up comedian?
I've been wanting to do that for 30
Or
years.
sit down comedian.
There you right? No, I'll be walking. That's a great idea. I've always wanted to do that. And here's the thing, I might be the oldest person to have ever won the world championship at 65. And I can always be the oldest stand-up comedian. I'm okay with that. It's not gonna stop me, but yeah, that's what I would love to do. Yeah.
Are we gone? We've gone over the meeting there we have, right?
Toastmasters of the day,
Yes,
Is the meeting over? Is the meeting adjourned?
how's our agenda?
I think we're on time.
Doesn't even have a watch. I think we're on time.
Feels good, feels right.
Really, thank you so much, all of you, for listening. The saying that everybody says, and you hear it over and over, and it's so cliche. And the saying is, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And trust me, procrastinator, lazy, last minute, do whatever. Like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. No problem. You want me to help you? I'll help you get there. I have no problem with that either. Okay? Got it? Good.
I don't know how to follow that. That's gonna be tough. However, thank you so much, Luisa. You really, really enlightened myself, gave me a lot of encouragement and planted a seed that's now sprouting, and I'm so excited. It's on fire, so I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for making that drive for Grace, and Grace, thank you for being awesome. Awesome enough to inspire her to get in the car despite her physical ailment. So what did happen to you, your foot?
We were on the way to New Jersey. We had 88 shelter dogs, homeless dogs from South Texas. And I would go up to New Jersey twice a month. And it's a 5-day excursion. It takes 3 days to get up there because you've got to stop every 3 hours, let the dogs out, go to the restroom, get them crates, feed, water, walk. So we just dropped them off. We were on our way back. And I had just driven 14 hours. I drove from Alabama up to New Jersey. And I asked my friend, can you drive heading back? He said, sure. There's a brand new van. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. And this is what's crazy. And don't kill me for this. I never would wear my seatbelt. Ever. Ever. I don't do that. I didn't do that. I just didn't like it. The gentleman's driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. We're leaving the rescue. And everybody's like, oh, they're in the new van. And everybody's taking pictures and video. And I think if somebody sees me without my seatbelt, they're going to go and tell the owner, hey, did you know Luisa didn't have her seatbelt on? So because I saw everybody videotaping, I put my seatbelt on. And that's what saved my life. So the gentleman was driving. I was asleep. I had pushed myself all the way up and then reclined because there was a metal grate behind me. And the rest of the van was filled with dog food. And the gentleman driving, Noe, wanted to hurry and get home because we always want to hurry and get home. So he went to the fast lane. There was an 18-wheeler. He couldn't pass, so he went to the middle lane. He comes to the slow lane. And in the slow lane, you know how sometimes there's that little lip for the shoulder? Well, I think Tyler caught that little lip. However, unfortunately, there was an 18-wheeler parked in the shoulder that wasn't supposed to be there. So we hit that going about 70 miles an hour. Wow. Well, that was on my side. So it ripped the entire van from the front of the van almost to the back of the van. It ripped my entire side off. I had 12 broken ribs on this side. My shoulder was messed up. So when we hit that van, we hit the trailer, 18-wheeler that was parked. We start going in 360 down the expressway. And when it's spinning around and it's my turn this way, facing the oncoming traffic, another 18-wheeler came and hit me and pushed us to the side. And I have that on video. And that's crazy. You don't see me. You don't see anything. It's like I wasn't even there because you just see the van spinning and then the other 18-wheeler hitting it and it's going off the road. 10 people pulled over to go and help. One guy, Hector Petrelli, was an EMT specialist. He was 4 cars behind the accident. He pulled over and his wife said, Hector, what are you doing? He says, I have to stop to see if I can help. She said, we're on vacation. We're going to Florida. You're not going to stop. He said, I took an oath. And he pulled over. Both of these bones were protruding. I was bleeding out. He put tourniquets on both legs. From here down was smashed. I was just crushed. And then he said, hey, Luis, ¿cómo te llama? ¿Cómo te llama? In Puerto Rico. He kept saying, what's your name? What's your name? And I said, Luisa Montalvo, because he's telling me the story of what happened because I don't remember. He goes, and you said, Luisa Montalvo. I said, Hector, I don't talk like that. He goes, you were that day. He goes, and then I lost you. What happened? That only means one thing if you're an EMT, Hector. He goes, yeah, you died. He goes, but right before you died, I remember you saying you couldn't breathe. Like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. He goes, and then you put the tourniquets on your legs. He goes, and then I was wiping the blood from your face. And I saw that the seatbelt was still on and it was crushing you. And so he realized that's why I couldn't breathe. So he says, hey, anybody got a knife? Anybody got a knife? And some guy pulled out a knife, another guy pulled out a belt, his belt, and he tourniqueted one because he only had one tourniquet. And he cut the seat belt. And when he did, that's when I started breathing again. So in my speech, I'm talking about defibrillator, clear, clear. That didn't happen. The seatbelt did. But for my speech, I wanted the end to say, are we clear? Clear. So I used the beginning of the defibrillator, but I got my story across. So that's what happened.
Wow.
And real pretty scars. You start from the end all the way up. Oh my God. They don't look so bad now. 2.5 years ago, they were pretty bad. But if you want to see them, you can go on my Facebook, and I've got pictures of them. Yeah, with my legs up in the air. And another thing that was embarrassing, and I wanted to put it in the speech, but I thought not to. It would take 6 people to turn me over to change my diaper. Because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, nothing. I just lay there for a whole month in the trauma center. I didn't know anybody. I cried at night. And that's why I said, when I rolled myself into the gym, I started crying because of 2 months, I don't see my mom, anybody. I don't know any of these people. Oh, but I have to tell you one thing. So I'm a practical jokester, okay? So there's this one lady in the rehab, and I absolutely love her. And she was a head nurse. So she would go and she would park her little cart right there in front of my room. She was like, Luis, I said, Jay, her name was Jay, J-A-Y. I said, Jay, I have to go to the restroom. She goes, you have to wait till somebody can help you. I said, Jay, I can do it. Remember, competitive me. I can do it. I can do it by myself. I'll make it. She goes, no, if you fall and something happens, I'm going to lose my job. You need to wait until, just ring your bell. So I would ring the bell. Then somebody would come and help me, and they'd have to slide me on a board into the wheelchair off my bed, wheel me in there, then they have to help me sit on the toilet. And I would tell them, I said, look, if you don't let me go right now, somebody's gonna have to clean me. And she's like, okay, wait a minute. Who wants to clean somebody instead of just letting them go to the toilet? So a friend of mine had just stopped by the week before, and she brought me all these things that I usually use on transport. One of my favorites is pickle juice. It's got the pickle in the little bag. It's got all this pickle juice. So I was sitting there and I was looking. I said, okay, I'm gonna play a joke on Jane. so she can't see me, right? She's got her back towards me and she's passing out all the meds. So I grabbed the pickle juice and I had a little cup of water and I drank all the water and I opened the bag and I poured all the pickle juice into the cup. And I put the pickle down and said, Jay, never mind, I already went. And I pulled up my robe and I said, look, I already went. And I went like this. She goes, good. And you know, pickle juice, this green. I gotta get that to the lab. She goes running over to me. Luisa, is this pickle juice? I'm like, oh, so you know what? Even though I was sad to be there, even though I didn't know anybody, if you just make the best out of where you are.
Yes.
You know, and it was important, and I loved everybody once I left. I hated to leave. We were all crying. And it was, when I walk, I'm coming back to visit you. She goes, no pickle juice. So I know we're over time. This is,
Ella, are we still allowed here?
what does the HOA say about cars parked? Oh, you guys, this is so awesome. This is too cool. But I guess I can't fathom the part of people wanting to stay here and listen to what I have to say. And I'm a little upset because you know what? I was funny a year ago and nobody invited me over. I didn't have a trophy. Now all of a sudden everybody's interested in what I have to say. Yeah. Do what? Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're going to sing karaoke.
Oh, yes. I gotta sing at least one song. Oh, yeah.
Do we get to pick the song?
Here's the thing, when I go through McDonald's and they say, can I take your order? Are you gonna be using your mobile app? No, I'm not using my mobile app, and I'll take the number 3 with no cheese. Okay, sir, drive through. Always. No, just never, yes, ma'am. Because I have a low voice.
Yeah.
So if you can pick a song that has a low voice, don't have me singing Taylor Swift and all that high level. No. I usually have to, anything that's low level, I can do that. You do what? There you go. There you go. So yeah, I usually have to sing the guys' songs because their voice is so low. But, yeah.
Alright. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, no, no,
Melissa.
again, thank you guys. Okay, Lou.
Our impromptu CE. However, are we gonna end the meeting tonight or? We get straight to the karaoke?
It's karaoke.
Maybe a couple.
Couple of questions. Who is our topic master? Yeah.
You are.
I am the topic master and I knew this. Yes, I knew this. Okay,
You can pick today.
I will pick, you are Terry?
Yeah.
Terry, okay. If fear was never a factor in your life, what would you be doing differently today?
That's so interesting because so much of what I do is to face my fears. Because I have fears, they motivate me to overcome them. So I basically enumerate my fears and I try to knock them off. I have a list of them. And for instance, I've given a talk about this. I'm terrified of heights. That was a speech that I used.
You took second to Christina.
Yeah, that's right. So that was a great battle right there. I think there's a lot of talent in District 55. But yeah, so when I'm afraid of something, I put myself into that situation. So I really can't imagine what my life would be like without fear. I think everyone has fear. And that's so much of what propels me forward. I mean, you very generously said that I'm good at public speaking. I'm only good at it because I'm kind of afraid of it. And so I do it over and over and over again in order to get better and better. And the fear never completely goes away. So again, to address that question, you know, what would I do without any fear? I have no idea. All I know is that just the relationship to it changes. Instead of it dominating me, it's still there, but I kind of dominate it and try to ride the waves. It gives me this energy. And it gives me ideas to talk about. Thank you for sharing what you talked about, the basic ideas that you come up with, like strokes of inspiration. So that's what I try to do when I'm coming up with a speech. Is I use something, and it usually deals with fear, facing fear, because I think that's relatable. It's a universal thing that everyone has to deal with. And we're all trying to overcome it, right? We're all in the same boat on that. So I try to share what I've done. And my thing is I'm always running into it. And when you do that, when you chase it, it kind of flees from you. It's still there, but the relationship to it changes. I know I haven't answered the question, but again, I can't really imagine what life would be like without fear.
Very good.
And speaking of fear, everyone has heard the acronym FEAR stands for you can fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. And this makes me think of Grace. Hadn't it been for you inspiring me when I first came to my meeting, I remember the day it was chilly. Just kidding, it wasn't chilly. It was hot. It's always hot. I was on Zoom. I saw you. I heard you speak, and I was like, I want to be there with her. Yeah. Yes. And this was just even the name of the group. That's what attracted me to Toastmasters. Lead to Succeed, a Toastmasters group for women. Like, we can be ourselves, a woman. And then Blake was there. I'm like, I guess, well, man, he's still there. But it was like a great group, and I was addicted ever since. And so you've been an inspiration to me. I appreciate you. Everything that you do for showing up for us. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. You're next.
She went the other way.
I know. I don't know why. Why would you do that?
Fear, running from her.
Her prop. She needs a prop for her.
Thank you, Christina. One of the speeches that I've given, Grace talked about it, is thank you for your feedback. That is a phrase I didn't use at the beginning because feedback, they're pointing out the mistakes, everything that you're wrong. And I remember one particular feedback that Grace gave me while she was evaluating my speech. It was so hurtful to me at the time. I remember going home and thinking, why am I doing this? This is horrible. I don't need to be a public speaker. And I remember talking to Eloise. She goes, yeah, but it's good for us. We need to improve. And it's hard to hear some of the feedback she gave me, just so you know, is she said, watch all your head movements. What is she talking about? Watch the video. Because I really, like, when she said that, I probably looked at her like perplexed. Head movements. I didn't realize how much I moved my head. I had no idea. That was a blind spot for me. But she gave me the feedback, and I know it was meant with good intent, and I took it. And from now on, when I speak, that's a little voice in my head. Don't move your head. Keep it classy, look like a model, try to sing. But you know, because it is something that Grace has been a mentor to me in so many ways, not just her impactful evaluations that are difficult sometimes to hear, but just her style. She's a classy person, she's a gracious person, and more than anything is selfless. She has been committed to this club for 10 years. That's a long time. And she's committed to each and every one of us' growth. And we all can attest to how much she's inspired us and encouraged us. One of my favorite phrases that's also always in my head is practice makes perfect. And our club is a safe space to practice. And I really like someone else said about how we're here to lift each other up. And it's true, like people ask me, you're still doing that? I'm like, I am, and it's because of the people. And and I talked about Rosika when she first started, and she was so nervous, and her voice was trembling, and that was me, over 5 years ago when I started attending the club.
7.
And has it been 7? But I'm also a fan of the buddy system. Ella and I joined together. We tested a couple of clubs, but as soon as we landed, at least this is like, this is it, this fits. And, like I said, the buddy system, watching people's growth, and all of you are, I see your confidence grow, and it's inspiring to me because I think I want to be like Veronica and be super confident. I want to be like Christina and be funny. But back to Grace. She, I talk about her all the time, and I believe in her commitment to the club and everybody's growth. I think that it's important to support each other and lift each other up. It's something that speaks to me because, we're in this world and we can't do it all by ourselves. And I think that our club hones into that and supports each other and is very welcoming and encouraging. And we couldn't have made it this long without Grace. So for that, we have a little gift for you, Grace. I had to do some research because I really wanted this to be like a very personal gift, and we got a piece of jewelry. And her daughter texted me and she said, I can't talk right now, but my mom doesn't wear jewelry. You need to talk to my dad. And I talked to Curtis, and Curtis said, yeah, it'll just sit in the drawer. She won't. Did they give me the wrong advice?
I don't know.
So
No
this
jewelry.
So this is our gift to you. It's a little memento.
Not jewelry.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh, wow. Oh, like a personal engraved.
Grace, can you
That's
smile?
nice.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Cheers to you, Grace.
Thank you so much.
Right. So much love in here, and we're really, really appreciative to you, and thank you so much, Luisa, for making the
Yes.
trip up here. It just
Sure.
made the whole party even better. And Ella, thank you so much for sharing your space and allowing my daughter to be wild. Really appreciate that. No. Then I'll hand it back over to Grace. I believe it says Grace.
Christina, close the Zoom session. There's no coming back.
Oh, really? I thought it was you. Okay.
Group picture, group picture.
Oh, group picture and,
And then close.
okay.
And
And
karaoke.
then,
And then karaoke. Okay. Madam President, please.
Thank you, thank you. We are really grateful for you to come here. Yes, really, it's like very touching, and it's good to hear to you all your stories, inspiring stories. And believe it, when you enter and like, what? I have to speak in front of the top world. But in my mind, I said, yes, I have to do it. I have to learn. I have to move forward. Yes. And that's why for me, Lead to Succeed has been a very life-changing experience. I am a very, very shy girl. I'll sit down in one corner, even in the parties, and just listen to everyone. I won't talk much. But this club has built my self-confidence, and I have discovered my inner self. Yes. Never in my wildest dream I thought I'm going to be a president of this club. Considering 2 years back, I didn't even know what this program was about. Like, but really, the club name catched my attention. Like, oh, it's for women. It's a safe place.
Plus one.
Yes, plus Blake. Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming this evening again, and really enjoy after this, have fun. Ella, do you need the cards, the game? Where is Ella? Oh, okay.
I didn't fill out too many.
And thank you on the Zoom also, Wendy. I thought you were the Shruti. Hi, Shruti. You can see her. Hi, Shruti.
Oh, just Shruti.
Yeah, I don't see her.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Wendy. So having said that, I'll adjourn the meeting now. Party time.
You can still make it over here.
We can take a group picture. I think we can take a group picture.
I only sing in church when other people can drown me out.
I'm not going to sing either. I'm just going to eat and drink.
You have fun. Hey, what, Grace?
Oh,
What did you get?
oh.
Thank you. I still can't believe it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Very awesome.
Hang on, let me just-
Can you stay on? We're going to do a group picture and we can put you in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, 'cause I need a Mr. Balance. Thank you. Cool. Oh, yeah. Wow.
week I had my
Well,
kids.
thank you. Thank you.
Week off, it's gonna be probably really still have a social life.
Yep, that's what I've been doing. Found my passion and believe it or not, because now I'm here for the privilege of being able to use my speaking career to help. Because I'm gonna start a these families coming down the line. And I'm not gonna find people that are veterinarians, Texas veterinarians, which we need. Yes. Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. And it's a passion.
I'm just going to stop the
recording. East Coast. Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you.